God bless the flag, we all beating our chests. When it's peace, it's the same old game, the same old players, same old names. Right. My skin is my sin. My skin is my sin.
What's good, fam? How's everybody doing? And right on cue. We are humbled and we are honored to have six-time House of Representative Cynthia Mckinney on our platform tonight. This queen has put in more work for our people, both in Congress and as a citizen. She has spoken when her counterparts ran. She has taken heat knowingly while others remain silent because it was the right thing to do. Without further ado, I want to introduce y'all to the queen, Cynthia Mckinney. I'm sorry, Dr. Cynthia Mckinney. How you doing, Queen?
How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great.
Fine.
How about yourself? Wow.
Well, where I am, it's already tomorrow. Since I'm on the other side of the planet.
Is it really early?
Yeah, it's 6 in the morning.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry, Queen. I didn't know that.
No, you shouldn't be sorry. I'm an early riser.
Oh yeah, I know the feeling. Like
it's
I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning every day.
Yeah.
So how's life? How's the other side of the world?
Well, it's very interesting. It gives you the opportunity to judge what's happening in the United States with a little more perspective. And also, it's not an accident that I'm here. It's that, quite frankly, the people that I'm with wanted me here more than the people that I would like to be with in the U.S. wanted me. And so I've built a life here and quite happy.
Wow. That's a beautiful thing. And I was just talking about like just how much you have done and accomplished in your lifetime is almost unrivaled. So I wanted to salute you, and more importantly, I wanted to say thank you.
Well, I do appreciate that. I don't get very many thanks, so I do appreciate that. The problem with black people in the U.S. is that I don't think that politics has failed us. I think we have failed politics. And whenever we organized and mobilized and pressed for a demand, we were able to win. We have won many, many battles. It's just the question of which battles are we trying to win. And the reason that the pushback and the rollback has been so successful since the period of the 1960s is because we have not tasked the political system to address our grievances. And I say that with the acknowledgement that Barack Obama served as president for 8 years. But let me be clear about this. Barack Obama was not chosen by black people to address the issues of black people. Barack Obama was chosen by other people to make it appear that black people had representation when in fact we had none. I think I tried to warn people. I even ran myself on the Green Party ticket to alert people about what was about to happen. I articulated it at every turn, but people had, how can I say, rose-colored lenses.
Yeah.
And so they saw basically what they wanted to see. And what they wanted to see was an affirmation of black dignity. But you see, we don't get that from one person who happens to resemble us. We don't get that from that and a family, a symbolic residence occupied by a black family. We don't get dignity from that. And until we understand that our dignity comes from ourselves, comes from who we are as individuals and who we are as a community, and how we press our demand, whether we win or lose in the end, the struggle for our dignity is something that gives us dignity. The humble Vietnamese person with no shoes or flip-flop shoes was full of the awareness that neither the French nor the puppets of the French nor the Americans or even the puppets of the Americans were going to have a place in their country, that they were going to fight for their own independence, their freedom, their liberty, their dignity, and they didn't care what they did not have. They utilized what they did have, and they defeated the United States military. The same thing goes for the Haitians who fought at that time, the greatest empire on the planet, which was the French Empire led by Napoleon Bonaparte. And they defeated the empire. So what I'm saying is that you get dignity by trying to be like other folk. You don't get dignity by accepting everything that's told to you. You don't acquire dignity by sticking somebody else's hair on top of your head. You don't get dignity by sticking somebody else's thoughts in your mind, but by developing your mind and yourself to the greatest extent that's possible for you and loving your own. That's how you get dignity, and that's how we've seen other people that you would never expect overcome the greatest odds. Look at the Palestinians who remain in Palestine, and they get bombed every month. I've been there. So I've seen the rubble, but they don't stop fighting. And so, it distresses me when we give up on politics because, quite frankly, since the Civil Rights era, we haven't practiced politics. We haven't practiced good politics.
I would agree with that. Queen, Dr. McKinney?
Yes, I'm here, and it is definitely not your fault. It's definitely not your fault. It's my fault. I just learned that the undersea internet cable to where I am has been cut. And so that explains the problem, right? And so I've tried everything to make this to get ready for this, and it was beyond my control. But anyway, I would be very interested in hearing what your listeners have to say as well.
Okay, and before we get to that, because I got a couple of questions. I've been kind of I've been wanting to interview you for a long time. And I'm telling you, whether you realize it or not, there is a large community of us out here that have been rooting for you, that have been giving you standing ovations through CNN from our living room, that love you and appreciate you.
Well,
so
I appreciate that.
I just want you to know that.
I appreciate that. Okay.
So you go to Palestine, and the Israeli, I don't know, Navy or whatever, basically kidnaps you and the rest of the people on the boat and puts you in jail for a week. What was that like?
Oh my gosh! Yeah, I cannot say that I've never been arrested. I cannot say that I haven't been to prison because I was there for a week, and quite frankly, I didn't get any, special treatment or anything. I was there with the other women. I was in the women's wing, and those who were illegal immigrants.
Wow.
So, yeah. The U.S. Embassy is completely useless, and that's because of U.S. policy. And so it was useless. They, what did they bring me? They brought me something to read, I think, as if I didn't already have enough to read. I ended up most of the immigrants that were there in prison were African women, and so I immediately bonded with them. And we ended up doing girly things, doing each other's hair, and, just existing the way you exist when you're in prison. Except that I did have, we were able to smuggle in a cell phone, a very small cell phone. So, so we did broadcasts every day from inside the prison. That was kind of neat. And the other prisoners, they helped us with SIM cards and stuff. So, it was just a regular prison experience, and being sort of left hanging out there. The other countries, like Ireland, we had Nobel Peace Laureate Mairead Maguire, and Ireland was, she's actually from Northern Ireland, so her case was argued in the UK Parliament, but they argued it in the UK Parliament. Ireland pressed for her release as well, or the release of the prisoners. Nothing from the U.S. Nothing at all. Which is,
and were you a congresswoman at this time?
Indicative of what? What?
I was asking, were you a congresswoman at that time? And I think
no,
that
means I had just finished my run for president under the Green Party.
Okay.
But that
was like 08.
Does that matter? So a member of Congress is supposed to get extra attention that a U.S. citizen who's kidnapped on the high seas?
It shouldn't matter. But I would.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, it shouldn't matter, but unfortunately, I guess it does.
Well, it shouldn't matter, and but that just indicates. I mean, it was nothing compared to what the Palestinians go through. So, you know, Palestinians.
We working through these technical difficulties, fam. Bear with us. Since you may go in and out a little bit, as you can tell, doing the best we can over here. And unfortunately, I don't know if you heard.
Okay.
Yeah, you going in and out. That's okay. We're gonna work with you. I'm gonna ride with you as long as you willing to tolerate it. I am here.
Well,
I want to know about
if
Palestine
you like, maybe we can reschedule.
We can definitely do
that.
Yeah, I definitely want to hear about Palestine. We can definitely reschedule because I want to make sure that everybody can hear you clearly, and we can have a great conversation, uninterrupted.
Okay, well then, yeah. Well, then I'll tell you what. When this situation, which is a bit extreme, has been repaired, then I will reach out to you. How about that?
I would appreciate that so much, Queen. And I do apologize for all that.
Then,
I feel like I cut the wires or something. I feel bad.
No, that was probably the nefarious CIA.
I would not doubt it, man.
Yeah. Okay.
Right now we got a good connection. If you would like to just roll out until if it cuts you off, we'll definitely talk again. But right now it's a good connection.
Okay. Well then I'll just hang in.
All right, that's beautiful. So what was Palestine like?
Well, Palestine's an amazing place because of the how can I say oppression. And as a result, it's like a colonialism to the extreme. Mm-hmm. So the Palestinians don't control anything that's supposed to be a Palestinian state. And quite frankly, this idea of a two-state solution is like pie in the sky because the Israeli settlements have overtaken the Palestinian state. And the purpose of settlements, as you very well know, is to make it impossible for there to be a second state, to make it impossible for there to be a Palestinian state. So whenever you see or hear a politician say, I believe in the two-state solution, that politician is lying to you. They're just flat out lying. And so the only solution that's left is a one-state like the United States, right? A one-state solution where everybody is living together, maybe not in harmony, but that's the only solution. And the problem with that from the Jewish side is that they're not reproducing. And because they don't reproduce, the demographic time bomb is working on them. They're the ones that are going to implode because they are not reproducing. Whereas on the Palestinian side, you've got healthy Christian and Muslim families, and they believe in family. So a young man and a young girl marry and they have babies. So that's something that is, that situation, Bibi Netanyahu's wife said that they were sophisticated Europeans. And yeah, that's the point. They are Europeans. And they've been placed over there. But Europeans are not reproducing. If you look at the population of all of, from Italy to Spain to France to Germany. Germany is particularly acute what you're witnessing is a dwindling population because of the lack of replacement birth. And the only thing that has saved France from that situation is the fact that the former French empire subjects are migrating to France. So you've got the huge situation in the banlieue, which is the suburbs of Paris, where you've got all of these young Africans, and they're having babies. And you've got, so combined with that population reproducing and migration, you've got a sustainable population in France, although the mix is changing. And so now if you look at the United States, the same situation is happening here. Or I should say there, but, you know, I still here. And so the population mix is, the demographic mix is changing in the United States as well. So this is a situation that's happening. You asked about Palestine, and Palestine is going to prevail. I don't care how many bombs and missiles and nuclear weapons Israel gets. Palestine is going to prevail because the Palestinian people will prevail.
I hadn't thought of it that way. But, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and you have lived an incredible life. Like Palestine, Syria. What was the one place that just stands out outside of home?
Well, honestly, Libya, because the call had been made. I went to Libya several times, and I never, well, one time I went alone, but every other time I went, you know, I took a group of people with me. And the situation in Libya prior to Barack Obama's decision to destroy the country was that a call had been made to African people from the Jamahiriya. And that call was to come back to Africa and build Africa from Libya. That was the call. And the Libyan government was willing to provide the, you know, everything, the housing, everything that was needed in order to build Africa. All of those subjects of the brain drain. So African people in the U.S., African people in Europe, all African people outside of Africa. The call was, come back to Africa and build Africa. Come to Libya. That was the call. And 90, I can't remember the number. I think it was $90 billion had been set aside.
Wow.
For to build all of these institutions that were going to be headquartered all over. That's the money that Hillary Clinton helped to steal. I hope you guys know that.
I did not know that. Can you please elaborate on that one?
And so, yeah, after the Jamahiriya fell, then they opened up a central bank. Remember, part of that money was at Goldman Sachs, was invested with Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs had promised a return. The money disappeared. And then they took whatever was there in the country. They took their money. They took the money, established a Rothschild, for lack of better, a private central bank, stole the gold. All that story is there. It's available on the internet. They stole the money. That money would have been dedicated to all of Africa, building Africa, and encouraging African peoples who do not live in dignity in Europe, because when they walk down the street they get beaten up or tased to death in the U.S., to come back with your expertise and build Africa. All that money was stolen.
Wow. And I'm sorry, I just had to cough a little bit.
We have, and we have members of Congress who say, I don't represent Africa. I mean, it's just, they don't represent the people who vote for them either.
Tell me about it. Oh my goodness. So, and I'm gonna ask you one more question, and then I know I got somebody that wants to ask you a question too. And if you have a question or a comment, just dial 347-855-8692 and press 1, and you'll be on with Dr. Cynthia Mckinney. Your father played a big role in your development, and more importantly, at least in my opinion, your strength. What was the biggest lesson he gave you?
The biggest lesson he gave me is that all of those people that you see on television, all those people that you don't see on television but are power wielders, all of those people that are in what now has become common parlance, the deep state, all of those people, they put their pants on just like you do, Cynthia. That's what he told me. So I'm not afraid of them.
The strength is palpable too, Queen, I must admit. And I'm gonna. Well, it is. Let me get to a question, caller, right quick. We're gonna get to 9487. Queen, you there?
I'm here.
Yes, I'm here.
You on with Cynthia Mckinney, Dr. Cynthia Mckinney?
Yes, Cynthia. I actually have followed you for a very long time. Actually follow you on Twitter too, and you follow me on Twitter.
Oh.
I'm. It's funny. On Twitter, my handle is Ditto's blog. But my question to you is, what is your opinion about Jared Kushner and how Trump has said that he is going to negotiate Middle East peace? Have you heard that?
Yes, absolutely. I just tweeted this morning on Kushner. Did you see my tweet this morning? Well, this morning for me. But
no, I didn't.
Did you see my tweet?
I did not.
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay. First of all, I think this is a kid, and it's an insult to the people of the United States. First of all, let me just say that the White House is not a family business, and nor is the executive branch. So I've been talking about, from day one, I've been talking about the inability of people on the corporate side to be able to understand the ethics that are required when you move to the public side. Wait a minute, that's my alarm because I had another interview scheduled. Wait a minute, hold on.
Okay. You got the old school alarm too. I'd still be asleep.
So, okay, I'm back. So, So the government is not a family business. So I objected to the placement of Jared Kushner and Ivanka with positions and titles on the government payroll. I mean, this is
it stinks.
Unacceptable.
Yeah.
And then the issue with what? So
I'm agreeing with you.
The issue with yeah. So it's totally unacceptable. Totally unacceptable. And then this guy dons a flak jacket with his sunglasses on and his hand in his pocket as if he's styling for something. Yeah, he's hired a Hollywood horror publicist. It is a horror show. It's a horror show. And so anyway, Jared Kushner just hired a Hollywood horror publicist to make him look good. I guess that publicist is going to allow him to practice for when he becomes president, when Jared Kushner becomes president.
You think that's the plan?
This is a new low point. Well, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, you know, he's definitely a lightweight, totally unacceptable. And as is being reported on Drudge today, that it was Ivanka who pushed for the strike against Syria. Now, that's ridiculous. That is totally ridiculous and unacceptable.
Wow, I did not know that either. Wow. So
this
is my theory on the strike. I think that this is all a ruse, basically, to make Trump look strong against Russia. Because like I was saying before you got on the line, I didn't hear of any casualties until today. Allegedly, there were 9. They've opened up the airport in two days after almost 59 missiles hit this airport. That should destroy any airport. Like you should not be opening in the next year.
Yeah.
So I personally, you know, Russia was given a heads up, which means they gave Syria a heads up. So I think it was just done to kind of make him look tough on Russia, so people quit asking questions.
Well, you know, that's how much do 59 missiles cost? You know, if you're going to do a display of power by launching missiles, they ought to be plastic or something, but not real. Let them play with their toy missiles, right? The little plastic ones. Man, I tell you.
That, and I'm sorry, and for those of you tuned in, she is on the other side of the world, so there is a slight delay. Okay, so we do apologize. But at what point did you decide that you wanted to give your all for others?
Yeah, that's a good question because I need to start thinking about myself. I do. I honestly do. Oh, boy. You know, because then you look around and you say, oh, my gosh, I have nothing. But
yeah, I know about that.
Such is life.
Was there a moment? Was there like something that you just woke up one day and said, you know what, I want to dedicate my life to making it a better world?
Oh, that's a good question, but Well, you got me speechless here.
Well, my bad.
Yeah, you don't think of it that way. You just think of it, okay, I've got a task to accomplish, and so I want to reach that goal, and then I set another goal, and then I reach that goal, and I set another goal, and I reach that goal. So I didn't think about it in a holistic sense of, yeah, you're trying to make the world a better place. Yes, that's true. I am trying to make the world a better place, as most of us are, if not all.
I would agree with that. I would definitely agree. I think, there's a vast majority of good people. It's just the idiots that get all the shine.
That's right. That's right.
And it's unfortunate, What are your thoughts on the Congressional Black Caucus? Are they effective, or, and I'm trying to be nice here, just for show?
Well, I would like to see more accomplishment from the Congressional Black Caucus. I would like to see more, but then of course, I would like to see Black people press more. So you press for more, you get more. That's the way it's supposed to be,
Yeah.
But we don't press. That's our situation. Is that we
are we just not using our money right, or is it just we just not going out to the polls?
Oh, all of the above. We're not using the money right. We're not using our brains right. We're not using our manpower right, our brawn. We're not using our energy right.
I can't disagree on any of those.
Yeah.
I really can't.
And there was two organizations. Yeah. There were two organizations. One organization called 1 Million Conscious Black Voters, headquartered up in New Jersey, I believe. And that organization was trying to put together a platform and trying to do the right thing to establish an independent force that could be political force that could be utilized by Black people to solve Black problems in the U.S. And the organization wasn't supported. And the other organization was an effort to recruit Black congressional candidates to run for Congress.
Uh-huh.
If you marry those two objectives, on the one hand, recruiting voters, adding voters who are independent, say they were willing to vote independent, to change their voter registration from Democrat to independent. And then complement that effort with candidates for whom those new independent voters are encouraged to vote. That is a project that's worth doing, that's worth implementing. But trying to get the level of support high enough for that plan to make a difference is the challenge.
And I don't know if you're familiar with New Era Detroit, but they are an organization out of Detroit that has kind of spread across the country, actually, and that's one of the many things they do. Is I think it's called 10,000 votes. Where they want to be able to to have a bigger footprint as a community on the political system. So I think that you're right. There are some pockets, they just need the support, because it's almost like we need a white person's validation or money before we'll say, oh, well, that's a good organization. I see it changing a little bit, but that's so unfortunate.
No. It's not changing. Black people seek white people's validation. Period. You won't follow the black leader if the black leader hasn't been validated by white folks. So if white people hate the black leader, then you hate that black leader too. That is our problem. Seeking validation for leadership, policy, program, from outside of the people whom you are trying to help. What kind of sense does that make? It makes absolutely no sense.
No, it does not. I don't get it. But you know what? But I do have to say though, especially over the last year, I've come across several orgs that definitely get it. So I do. It's not on a larger scale, but I definitely do see some. A little bit more changes than I saw, let's say, 5 years ago.
Yeah, but we don't have. We don't have 5 years to wait for people to wake up. You know what I mean?